is Gabrielle, and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Money with Friends. Every Wednesday, we come to you, myself and my friends, to really share some really important and relevant information about life, money, everything else. Because we always say that money encompasses everything. The program here is called Let's Talk Money with Friends because we know that we would have an opportunity to tackle so many different issues. So today's topic is your stands matter. Your stands matters. Eat, pray, love, rest, because everything is gonna be all right. And the only reason why I came up with this topic is because I was sharing that with my friends who are on tonight, is that someone was asking me for a topic for an upcoming event, and I thought, after all you've done all you can, because when it comes to money, finances, and also life, there's a lot that will be thrown at you. We know that in life you will be thrown lemons, and it is up to you to make lemonades. But how do you do that if you don't know where you stand in life? So it's very important that we know that the way you take care of yourself and the way you tackle issues that are weighing you down will be based on where you stand and how you stand. So I would like to further discuss this topic tonight with my friends who are on, because this is a very important topic for you to know about. So without further ado, I would like to welcome my friends who are on tonight. I haven't seen Minister Jones for a while now, and I was so glad the other day when he said, Gabrielle, yes, I want to be part of the show. So I will give him an opportunity to introduce himself again to you first, and then Curtis will be next. Minister Jones, please tell us a little bit about you.
All right, good evening. Thank you again for your invite. I have been kind of busy, and so every time you send me a message, I don't always get back to you because, but today I saw it, and I saw the topic that you had, and so I just wanted to, I had some free time, so I said, let me come on and just see, how we can communicate, because everybody's going through a lot of things right now. How can we do something, to talk people off the ledge?
Yes, definitely. And Curtis, reintroduce yourself.
Good evening. My name is Curtis Chambers. I do financial literacy workshops. I'm a financial coach. I help individuals in estate planning, annuities, life insurance, things of that ilk. And love coming on the show. So thank you for having me back.
Yeah, thank you both for being on. I'm excited. As I said earlier, that this topic is important because I know as financial coaches, I work in the financial services as well, and Curtis, and Minister Jones, you've done so many things with investing and financial planning, and you have families who are in front of you, and some of them are okay financially and some of them are not okay financially. And the funny thing is that even the ones who are okay financially sometimes have so much anxiety because they're always thinking about the future, the fear of the future. So, and then we have those who are not okay and they're worrying and they have anxiety about the now. So for me, I've always been interested in talking to people and encouraging them to know where they stand, because life again is not fair. You will have adversities, you will have challenges, you will have uncertainties. How do you handle that? And how do you handle that and still look good? And still look good, because you know that we've said that many times in the churches that said, you know what, thank God I don't look what I've been through, right? Many people do look like they've been through what they've been through because they didn't know where they were standing. They didn't know that their stands matters. So with that said, we say eat, pray, and love, and rest. So why do you think, Curtis, so many folks, the very first thing they do is stop taking care of themselves? That's the reason why they ended up looking what they're going through. They stop taking care of themselves in terms of their health when they're going through a difficult situation or going through a challenge. Why is it good to take care of yourself during those hard times?
Well, the reason why people stop sometimes is because, they want to be selfless. They want to enact what they've been taught. And so, hey, I'll sacrifice. I'll do without. Many of the stories of the parent who did not eat so you can eat, that type of thing, and that can only go so far. You have to at some point, feed yourself spiritually, feed yourself, by going for a walk, refresh yourself, just refill that pitcher, so to speak. So, because if you're no good, the old adage when we meet with someone and talk about putting the mask on yourself when you're flying, or else no one else is good. If I pass out, my 4 or 5-year-old is not going to be able to tend to himself, so it's actually selfless to be selfish sometimes and do for yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Folks are, challenges like going to a divorce or going to a foreclosure, or they're going to like an eviction, and all of a sudden, then, they're reaching out to comfort food. I know you are a health nut, Minister Jones. I know from the time I've met you, you've always been very active. For an older gentleman, you look very great. Why? Because you constantly invest in yourself. We know food is not cheap. So how do you encourage someone to continue to take care of themselves and look for ways to feed themselves in a healthy manner when they're going through a financial crisis?
Well, it's funny too, and so all my life, I think since I was about 15 years old, I was always in good shape, taking care of myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when this COVID came, there are times that things will test you to see who you really are.
Correct.
And so, I remarried in 2019,
Correct.
right? So, the COVID came in 2020, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really 2019, into 2019, but 2020. And so being in the house for like over a year and a half, basically, it tested me because I gained 20 something pounds.
Really?
That I'm in the process of getting rid of it now. It's taken, and age has to do with it, and also your body starts, breaking down sometimes, for different things. But to answer to your question, it's like you have to, in the animal kingdom, right?
Mm-hmm.
The mother will eat, if the little cubs or whatever, not doing, the mother will eat, and I think that's, we have to look at that, and we think it's cruel, but if she doesn't survive, then the baby's not going to survive. You know what I mean? So that's how we have to look at it with ourselves. Is there are some times that it's important for you to, you got to take care of you, because there's always people connected to you, so it matters, and before, I always had to maintain a certain weight.
Correct.
It's a whole lot different when you have to lose weight.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole nother mindset that you have to look into, and it takes you back to a basic. So just basically taking care of yourself, and because there are other people that are dependent on you.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm glad you said that. Hi, Queen. Queen has entered the room. Thank you for coming, Queen. I'm glad you said that. And I don't know if it's too soon to ask your question, Queen, but you mentioned that staying healthy is a lot cheaper than getting healthy, because typically when you go into an obstacle, you go into a hardship, a divorce, a foreclosure, any one of those major crises in life, all of a sudden you don't take care of yourself. That's why eating, meaning like taking care of yourself, is so important, because if you don't do that, what is going to happen? It's going to get worse, right? Would you agree, Miss Queen?
Peace, everyone. Thank you for having me on, Gabrielle. I apologize for signing on late. I was actually healing with love. I was doing a Reiki session. So I had my niece flew in, came in from New York for a Reiki session. So I ran over a little time. When I get into my healing, I get lost of time. So I apologize for coming in late. So what is your question again, Queen?
Well, the question about, Minister Jones just mentioned that, we're talking about the part of holistic health, like the eating and the taking care of the body. How
Right.
it's so important when you go into a hardship that you don't negate that, because at the end of the day, I think your adversaries want to see you die off, right? And they've done so much to throw things at you to cause you to not want to take care of yourself. But at the end
Right.
of the day, you have to stand tall and take care of yourself. Why should you focus on that, knowing that you getting sick will cost you a lot more money than you staying healthy?
Yes, health is wealth.
Yes.
Health is wealth. And they, as you know, I'm a firm believer that we're fed so much fear.
Correct.
And fear lowers your immune system.
Mm-hmm.
And we're fed to fear everything instead of believing in God and believing in everything comes in from within.
Correct.
And what you focus on is what you attract. That's the law of attraction. I don't care how you look at it. Everything you experience externally is what you feel inside.
Correct.
And when I first became a Reiki practitioner, I got the book about Heal Your Body by Louise Hay. Hayes, and she stated that every sickness is connected to some type of emotion.
Correct.
And it'd be childhood trauma. It could be anything, and it eventually starts pulling on your body and causes you to get ill.
Correct.
Cancer is anger. A lot of people don't know that. And it doesn't have to be this life, it could be a previous life. So it's important. We are all born healers. Every last one of us. We have just forgotten that we chose to come here. God gave us the opportunity to come here to pick our path and learn how to heal ourselves. Some of us will never learn in this life. So it's up to you to reach out, but more people are becoming more awoke and more connected and working on healing themselves. I mean, and it's not really expensive. Like, I go to the Family Dollar Tree all the time. They have healing teas and herbs in the Family in the Dollar Tree. People don't even realize that. For $1.25, you can get immunity tea in a box. You can get energy boost, natural herbs. You have to do the research. Research is most important because there's so many ways to heal. So, as you know, I heal with frequency healing through the AO scan, which explains when I do the report, it explains everything. It's like a doctor in a box. It explains everything, why you have this ailment, this illness, or whatever's going on, what colors to wear and stuff like that. So I do frequency healing, I do hands-on Reiki healing, and I do past life regression and future life regression. I'm still learning. I'm actually learning now to be a death doula.
Yeah.
So I'm always learning ways to help heal our people because health is wealth.
Definitely. And Curtis, I know when you're sitting with someone and you're saying, hey, I see your budget, I see what you can do. And they're saying like, food is so expensive. Again, I'm glad you said you can go to the dollar store, but I know in the area where I live here, they have local farmers market, like especially in this time of the year. Like so many of the families don't know that. That's why they go to the store, they buy something that's not good for them. Again, going back to the comfort food. But there are ways. Have you advised your clients to go to, like for me, is like go to the farmers market, go to, get your coupons going, go on a sale day, because at the end of the day, you need to pick you need to make healthy choices so that you can continue to feed yourself good food and be able to fight off your adversaries. Would you agree, Curtis?
Without question, I like to utilize things like, daily table or things of that ilk, because people that have, maybe they have the SNAP benefits or what have you, they can always get discounts and they get healthy produce, spinach, fresh, because we used to always get the leftover things. And, we've, for the longest time, if you lived here anytime, 90s, early 2000s, it was always a food desert. You'd have to go way out to get quality food, and some on public transportation. How can I lug bags all the way into town? Am I going to pay someone to drive me? And then I just negated the whole point of me trying to get some good stuff for cheap. So now that we have certain things in the neighborhood where you can eat healthy foods, you can do that so that you can take care of yourself and have those antioxidants. And again, the fear factor is all part of it, and it's a mind control thing that goes on. But I love what the two queens are saying.
Yeah, definitely. Going back again to, you mentioned like during COVID-19, people were like stress eating, like because they're under stress. And I did the opposite. I went out and exercised and lost weight. So, I would encourage folks to really think about what you put it in. And yes, it's expensive. When you go to certain supermarkets, it's extremely expensive. But if you make a concerted effort to really find out what's going on in your community. My neighbor earlier today, she's like, come and see it. She's growing like tomatoes and all sorts of different vegetables this summer. And I was like, oh, that's something we all can try to do. Have you ever done that, Minister Jones? Like try to grow your own food so that you know what you're putting in?
So as a matter of fact, my wife and I this year, we're gonna try and grow a little garden, with certain things that we do. Because I shop at the BJ's and Costco's because like Queen Dawn, that's your name, Queen.
Correct. Mhm.
So I know, she said you have to do your research, right? And so we have a membership at both of them because both of them carry certain things,
Mhm.
right? And so we go to one and get certain things, like grapes and all. And see, I'm one of those that I don't eat seedless grapes.
Hmm.
And so BJ's carries huge seeded grapes, but Costco's, they sell seedless grapes. So you got to know, which one that you do. And so she, she's like, well, I got to make sure I got to go to BJ's because I won't eat them. I mean, she just ordered me a watermelon. They're all seedless, right? So she ordered it, and so they said, well, you might find a couple of seeds in it, right? Yeah, but it's the little yellow seeds. It's like a real watermelon has the dark brown seeds in it, and I eat the seeds, so it's like, so with those things, so you have to know and do, like, she said, you got to do your research, because, it's you are what you eat, and like right now, I don't know if you all got a chance to see the diesel. They're getting ready to have problems with diesel. Well, if they're already having trucking problems as it is, and if they have a problem with diesel, then that means the trucks aren't going to get there with the food that they need to get. So
yeah,
there's a lot of issues.
Yeah, we wanted to focus on this again. Your health is your wealth, and you cannot sustain, you cannot survive any challenges. All the challenges that life will throw at you if you're not healthy. So including mental health. So mental health, we said eat, pray. I know so many folks are religious people, but other folks do meditation, they do yoga, they exercise to get their mental health in check. Why is it important actually to have some sort of a moment where you can bring yourself back to center? I know you're big on that, Queen. Let the people know why is it important to take the time once a day, however many times you want to do it, to center yourself, because that mental health is also important when you deal with challenges.
Yes, mental health is golden. Like, I want to piggyback off of what Pastor said about the seedless vegetables, the fruits and vegetables. They're genetically modified, which will affect your DNA. So we have to be careful when we're indulging, because we're under a spiritual attack. I don't care what anybody says, whatever religion you believe in, we are under a spiritual attack. It is up for us to learn from internally how much more phenomenal that we are.
Correct.
And the first thing I tell my clients, I don't care what religion they have, I have people of all walks of life, because Reiki is not a religion.
Correct.
I was raised in a Catholic school, in the Catholic home, but I have respect and love for all religions. But the first thing I do in the morning, before I go to bed, I prepare a bottle of lemon water, fresh squeezed, actually lime water, because actually Dr. Sebi said that lemon is not good for you. Actually, lime is the real the real fruit that you're supposed to use. So I squeeze about 20 limes once a week in a container, and I just put a little bit of my tea. I put it in my water before I go to bed, and put a bottle of water right next to my bed. As soon as when I wake up, I rub my hands together, put my hands on my face to wake myself up.
Mm-hmm.
So that I know that I don't want to wake up, man, I don't want to get up, I'm tired. Whatever you speak, it comes back. What you will feel, it starts your day off. So I put my hands on my face to wake myself up, and I'm grateful and thankful. Good things are always coming to me. Thank you, God, for waking me up. I say all the wonderful, positive things that I want to manifest in my life before I even hit the floor. And then I sip on my lemon water. And I go to the bathroom, and I look in the mirror. I talk to myself in the mirror. I'm going to have an amazing, phenomenal day. Because we're always taught that we have to fit into this box.
Correct.
And we are always less than. And we are so much more phenomenal than what we believe. Like, I don't watch junk TV. I don't do that reality TV shows. I don't do that stuff. It's mind control. And I don't watch the news. My husband does. So he'll keep me abreast if I need to know of anything that's going on. But it all starts internally. Start your day off with a fresh, positive day and be grateful. That's the thing. That's the number one key. Gratitude. And the more you're grateful, the more you will attract more things to be grateful for. But if you keep complaining and whining, this ain't right, that ain't right, food prices is too high. Food prices are always going to be too high because you're going to think it's too high. I remember when gas was this high years ago, when I first started selling new homes. God will provide for whatever you want. You got to stop complaining and don't be a victim and be a victor.
Victor, I like the idea of I'm winning. I'm winning.
Winning.
Do you feel the same? Do you encourage your clients, Curtis, to believe and to profess every single day that they're winning? Because again, like you said, the world is gonna keep telling you that you are losing. And it is up to you to make a decision to know that you can win despite of everything that's around you. Do you encourage your clients to win?
I usually start off showing up a diagram that has lack versus or scarcity versus abundance. Because the mind is uber powerful, and once you tell your mind I can't afford that, then your mind just okay, and that's it. Everything shuts off, and that's it. Because your mind is like a detective; it's ready to solve this mystery. And if instead of saying I can't afford that, it's how can we afford that? Now we're going to go ahead and find out. And your mind will start thinking of ways, and you get creative. And hey, maybe that means I have to, if you do hand baskets, I can just sell 8 hand baskets. If I, whatever the case may be, your mind gets to work. Universe conspires, and whatever you believe, the universe is ran by the Lord. So if I say universe, I'm still talking about, one and the same. And so you just have to have that mentality of like, yes, it is possible, but if you shut it down, and it's whether you think you can or you can't, you're right.
You're right. Yeah. Minister Jones, do you have an example? I know you've lived quite a long life so far. Do you have an example of a time where you had to pray over a situation, and because you took the stance of like, I'm going to believe in, and that situation resulted in a positive, or however it resulted, you felt comfortable with it? Do you have an example?
Yeah. And what do you mean how old I am? I'm blessed. So I will be 69 years old this year. So yeah. I'm grateful. And one of the things that Queen Dawn was saying is and I went to Africa last year. I'm going again this year. And going there, it's about finding out that we're spiritual and not religious.
Correct.
Which makes all the difference. So it even changed how I deal with church now, because everything is trying to redirect us to who we really are. We are people, right, that serves the Most High, and everybody wants to be like us, but they can't, so they have to make us think that we're lower than what we are. And we are living in a time right now where people are going to be looking to us, and it's important for us to find out and accept who we are, because the world's waiting for us. And so we have to, take that spiritual time to come and pray and know that we're praying to someone that listens to us. We're not what people say that we are. We are the apple of his eye. That's what I hear.
Yeah, it's so important to center yourself, and so that you can continue to make the great decisions. Because for me, prayer has always been a great way for me to kind of center myself, make decisions, because I was going through a situation and I was like, I'm losing sleep over this and it's stressing me out. And, what must I do? What must I do? And out of nowhere, the voice that I always listen to said to me, pray over it. Pray over it. And I did for an entire month. I carved out our entire month, February of this year, actually. I carved out the time every single day at a specific time. I prayed over that specific situation. And when it was time for me to make the decision about that specific situation, it was very easy. And right now I'm at peace with the decision because I had prayed over it and I found peace. So it's so important because we're doing all this because love is important. Because how many of us have seen when folks are going through a hardship, they're going through a difficulty in life, they get very mean. Not only mean to other people, but mean to themselves. How do you continue to learn and to cultivate love for yourself and for others in difficult times? Miss Queen, you can go first.
So how do you work with others in a difficult time?
How do you continue to cultivate love for yourself and for others when you are going through a hard time and it's weighing you down and it's difficult for you?
Right. You have to minimize your stress factor. Correct. Stress kills. So, when you learn how to love yourself first, because we are an image of God, you learn, and we are all gods and goddesses. We're not God the creator, but we can manifest anything we want. And if you wanted to be depressed, you're going to manifest depression. You want to manifest stress, you're going to manifest it. And when you pray, I always tell my clients, some of us don't know how to really pray. So if you pray, oh my God, please, I need your help. I'm so desperate. Please, this. No, you're thanking God as a pastor. You say, thank you, God, for paying my bills. Thank you, God, for waking me up. Thank you guys for that new house that I manifested through you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Always start a prayer with the words, thank you, or I am grateful, or I am. But always with a positive word. So when you start working on yourself first, because self-love is the number one key too. You need to focus on self-love first so that you will be able to attract the right energy to yourself so that you can help others learn how to manifest what they want and not what they don't want.
Yeah, because I believe that part of self-love, we were saying that offline earlier, that going for help, reaching out to other people when you go into a hard time is definitely an act of love. Do you encourage your clients, or do you yourself, Curtis, when you go into a situation, instead of getting frustrated and acting out on other people, that you not only center yourself, but you look for other people to help you so that you can give them an opportunity to love you and love them back?
Absolutely. You want to give folks an opportunity to step into their greatness, and you never come with a judgmental mentality. It's just an opportunity to learn, share things like impact versus intent. You might have intended to do something, but the impact of this was. So having these conversations so that you can grow from it and not just have to get stuck or stagnant and be frustrated and you're mad at them and you're stewing at night, and that's just hurting yourself, because that person's usually sleeping and sound as a baby. So let's go ahead and resolve that, process it. If you need to take space. If our journey together ends, then they can do that as well, but definitely it can be amicable.
Yeah, definitely amicable, because I always say love never fails. And it's so important to know that love is not something you only get to do in good times, but also in bad times. Actually, in difficult situation, that's when you know if you really have love for yourself. By the way you take care of yourself. That's why we talk about the eating. And by the way you believe in that, when you pray that you have a father or whatever you believe in, that you are loved enough that your prayers are going to be heard. But you continue not only to love yourself, but love the people around you, because many times, Minister Ronald, folks go on and start blaming and start pointing fingers and start being mean, real mean, because they're going through a hard time. How do you, not only cultivate, but how have you shown love to someone in a difficult, whether their difficult time or your difficult time? How have you shown love to someone?
Well, one of the things, and how this is all connected, the three topics you're talking about, is I don't live in the what if. I don't live in that world, like what if such and such didn't happen, because I believe that everything that we do is ordained. So it's I don't say God anymore. He's Yah to me. But so I let people know it's not, I'm not gone into anything different. It's Yah, Yeshua, and the Ruach HaKodesh, right? So those to me, but it's those. And you have to go into this whole thing about when you talk about love, you have to love you, right? Because you are important. And so by doing that, you help other people, because when you love yourself, right, then I don't get situations where I'm so angry that I can't help somebody else out. I don't live in that world. It's like I don't have space in my heart, to be mad at somebody. I don't have time to be mad at you. I mean, it's like, and like Queen Dawn was saying, it's that anger causes things to happen to you. Like you said, the person is sleeping at night. I don't lose sleep over things like that. And so you try and help people to say, look, you need to love you first, right? Before any of that other stuff, is what matters to you, so that you can share that love with somebody else.
Yeah. Again, you gotta eat. Yeah, again, you gotta eat, pray, and love for yourself and love for other people. And I know for me, going through a really difficult time, I said to myself, how can I give love? How can I go and help other people? And by doing that, I was saying that to you offline, Mr. Wano, because I've shared situations, challenges that I was going through with you. I was, by giving, by sharing, by doing for other people, all of a sudden I was able to heal myself. And I was able to say to myself, oh, I'm here for a purpose. And this experience here is allowing me to have empathy that I never had before. It's so important to know that many times we're going through a challenge, we're going through a difficult time and experience, so that we can go and pay it forward. So important to go and pay it forward, because your situation is not only for you, but if you don't cultivate love, and you got to cultivate love not only for yourself, but for other people, it's going to be very hard for you to think about giving back while you're going through a hard time. A bad divorce, you take many times you folks are so angry because they think that they're the only one. Do you think that's, I'm going through a financial hardship here, I'm the only one, until you go out and stretch beyond your small circle, you realize that other people have been going through the same thing. You're not in your head. Miss Queen, explain.
The first thing I do, because I constantly have to heal myself every day. So I'm always on self-care. I start my day off with chants, Reiki chants and prayers, and thanking God for what I'm asking for, what I know I'm already going to receive. But it's important. The first thing I do with my clients when I talk to them, I talk to them about self-healing. When they say, Queen, I'm going through blah, 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 this and that and the other, and I'm like, when's the last time you loved on yourself? When's the last time you told yourself you loved yourself? Because if you love yourself first, others are going to love you too. And you're not going to attract those lower vibrational people. I've been in spirituality since I was a child. I was raised from my mother, my Cherokee grandmother. I was raised from one generation to another how to tap into the energy, even though I was raised in the Catholic Church. But our people were not allowed to show their spirituality. And I had to learn year by year, in which I had to take care of 3 children with no child support. and I raised them. They're all 3 grown, successful children. And I always taught my children, tell your children you love them. Hug your children, male, female. Hug your children, hug your loved ones. Hugging is healing.
Correct.
I told my husband, I need a hug every day because hugging is healing.
Yeah.
And it's all about loving one another. That's why we chose to come here. We chose to come here to help heal this earth.
Yeah. And
God gave us the opportunity to come here to help heal. So I always teach that to my clients. Self-love, self-healing, and stop complaining.
Yeah.
And stop gossiping.
Yeah.
And stop gossiping. That's something I had to learn because, gossiping is as a form of entertainment, right? And then when somebody says something bad, like, well, I got a better story than you, and then you don't say I got a better story, but your story is almost just as good as theirs or bad or better or better than theirs, right?
Yeah.
And you guys are transferring this energy back and forth because we're all part of the same consciousness. And the next thing you know, something, you go down the street and have an accident or somebody calls you with some negativity. Well, you attracted that negativity. You're just gossiping about somebody, talking about that. So at first, when I first started, it was kind of hard because like, dang, what do I say to them? Because I can't gossip.
Yeah.
I can't gossip, right?
It's so funny. The other day, someone called me with a story and I was like, that's gossiping. And the reason I said that is because I felt like, how you tell me about this person, right? You're trying to make me see him in a certain light, right? And I'm like, I don't want to do that because at the end of the day, again, I don't want it to come back to me because karma is real. I don't want it to come back to me. And the key is if you love yourself, you're going to want to love your neighbor and love the people around you. So again, I love the idea, I'm from a culture where people don't typically say, I love you. And it was a work in progress. We're constantly learning to say to my friends and the people that I care about, because if you feel it, love is an action verb. If you feel it, if you have it, it's going to be seen. It's going to be felt by the people around you, right? So it's so important that not only that you learn to love yourself, but that you love other people and seeing the best in them.
Can I say something? So check this out. So I'm just talking about God, and look at how the sun is shining through the window right on my face.
Correct.
When I mentioned gossip, like God sends so many, the universe, God, whatever anyone believes or calls, sends so many messages.
Correct.
Like when I was healing my niece, I'm so proud of her because she's a supermodel, and I'm so proud of her. I remember when she was a little baby, and she came in to see me like, Auntie J, I need some healing. And I was like, can you hear the birds chirping? And at first she didn't hear them. And every time I do a healing session, I hear birds. And then she was like, I was like, that's God talking to you. God brings us so many signs, and you guys, you're so distracted with these things.
Yeah.
You're not stopping and paying attention and be calm and just stop.
Yeah, definitely. We can go on and on and on about this. And I know some of you have limited time here tonight. I just want to say that I wanted to do this show because I know for many of us who are looking for a show that says, let's talk money. Everybody wants to know how to make dollar, how to make sense, how to, invest in the stock market and all that stuff. We all know how to do all that stuff. Trust me, if you don't know, you can be taught how to do that. But at the end of the day, though, it doesn't matter how big your portfolio is. If you don't know where you stand in life, you're going to have an issue, because as soon as you get that large portfolio, somebody could be behind you trying to take it from you. Life will throw lemons at you. And I know that part of the challenges that people would have at the end of it all, when they don't take care of themselves, they don't eat, they don't pray, and they don't love, they cannot sleep. And sleep is the final topic. I know if you have to go, Curtis, give us a couple of minutes, but sleep is an important part, because most of the time, stress, anxiety, all that takes away that ability to sleep. And when you don't sleep, guess what? You cannot renew yourself and your spirit. And again, you continue to become an angry person. So how do you encourage someone who's going through a hard time right now? What are some of the tangible, or what are some of the steps that they could take to sleep? Curtis, I'll let you speak and then you can run if you have to.
All right, appreciate you. I would say that You can write some things down, whether it's journaling what happened throughout your day, the gratitude, because in the morning, you start off with the gratitude, and in the end of the evening, the same way, you can jot some things down, or you can read. That usually does it, because as soon as you start to reading, sometimes you want to nod it, but the device that Queen just put in her hand, if you keep holding that, then your brain's going to continue to be wired, and especially if you're on certain social media sites, it's going to continue to just be frazzled, and anxiety sets in, and it's all the other vibrations that you don't want. So, my thing is to slow down. It's either some reading, tea, maybe not everyone's a tea drinker, but for everyone, there's something different as you slow down. Maybe you just came in from doing an evening walk. I have some neighbors that are from India, and the husband and wife, I see them always walking up and down the hill. So that's their thing in the evening. So you can find something for yourself. And for me, like I said, coming up, try to again, mystery. What are 5 different things that I could be grateful for? I don't want to keep saying the same generic, oh, I'm grateful for my health and strength. No, try to find something creative and have fun with your maker in terms of sharing your day. Like, it's not like the Lord doesn't know what your day was about, but it's that communication. And usually sleep starts to set in after you read a chapter or two. But I appreciate
financial hardships when folks are not able to pay the bills, and they're not able to, having a hard time finding a job. Now there's a quote unquote recession looming. Some people are already concerned and losing sleep over that because they're concerned about their property values and all that stuff. And you see in those clients, I mean, you telling them like, listen, take your stands and know where you stand in life and stop worrying about the uncertainties, because life will happen.
I tell people to have their boundaries. You have to be able to put those boundaries up and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. And this is what I'm not going to be able to do. No is a complete sentence, and for those that say, hey, I'm losing sleep, or I'm staying up because of the potential recession and things of that nature, or because the price of Bitcoin is falling, I ask, if I depend on the relationship I may have with you, I'll say, Gabrielle, so if you stay up, is that going to make the recession go away? Because if it is, we can let's stay up. I'll be right here with you. But yeah, so if it's not going to change anything, then go to sleep, and we'll tackle it again tomorrow with a fresh mind, and and energy.
And that's why, again, going back to the planning, we've been talking about that throughout the year, or since we started the show. Plan. Something is looming. What do? You be proactive. You start planning today. I just saw someone earlier today. She was like, I know a recession, it might be blooming, and I want to be ready to surf through that wave. So how can I do it? What can I do? What should I do? It's so important to plan, not only for your health, for your mental health, for your physical health, but also for your financial health. So thank you so much, Curtis, for being here tonight. I just want to say again, thank you so much. Always glad to have you, because you bring so much great perspective to the conversation. I just want to say again, the reason we wanted to have this conversation is because over and over again, I hear folks saying like, I'm going through a divorce, I'm going through this eviction, foreclosure, and life will happen to you. You'll find yourself in the middle of a legal battle that never ending legal battle. And you're like, how did I get myself into this situation? Or when is this going to be over? Well, we don't know. We cannot predict the future, but what we know is that Minister Jones, we're familiar with that verse, and perhaps you too, Queen. It's like, after you've done all you can, you just stand. You're on mute, Minister Jones. Can you explain that to the people? Because I think it's so important for them to know, after you've done all you can, eat, pray, love, how do you stand and sleep?
And see, that's a lot of people get themselves in trouble with. What I've learned is, when you talk about sleeping, is I try and share with my wife. I says, whatever problem that you have today, right, just leave it, because you wake up tomorrow, it'll still be there. And what I look at also is, the Most High is, he doesn't sleep or slumber. So I can leave it with him, and then I get up in the morning and go. So one of the other things too is, I found out that I use this mask, the eye thing, for sleeping, and it makes a big difference, because it cuts out all the light. It's like, you get your clocks and all the other things on, and you get into that, what's that, REM sleep? You get into that sleep, and you're more rested in the morning, because it's important, because you need to be rested so that you can tackle the day.
Correct. It's so
I like what Queen says. I get in the mirror and I just say, I like that person I see in the mirror, and you're gonna have a good day, and that's how you start it off. But going to sleep, you have to put yourself in a position where you have to lock all those things out, because they interfere. I pray at night before I go to bed and ask the Most High to dispatch his angels to guard over me in the night, so that I can sleep comfortably and wake up in the morning refreshed, renewed, carry out what he wants me to do.
Yeah, definitely. Do you have any thoughts about that, Queen? Like, the sleep part, how important it is that for folks to really take the time to believe that one of the ways that adversaries and other people are trying to create mayhem in your life, they know you are losing sleep, and they keep creating more and more mayhem, because it's good for them when you are not up to par, when you're not your best. When you're not your best, because again and again, because there are certain situations. I was in a situation and I couldn't sleep, and I was saying that to you, Minister Jones. Even my gums, like my gum, I had like problems. I couldn't sleep, and then out of the blue, this one person that I've known for years left me a message, and it was a prayer on my voicemail, and that prayer changed everything. After I heard that message, I've been sleeping like a baby.
Yes.
Because he said to me, trust, everything will work. Everything is gonna work out. Everything is gonna be all right. So what do you have any thoughts about that?
I took my cell phone out the bedroom at night. Your cell phone should not be in your bedroom. Period. It's supposed to be at least 20 feet from you when you sleep. When I took my cell phone out of my room, I could rest better. Also, be careful. Don't leave it. If you're gonna leave the TV on, put like classical music on or soundscape or something like that.
Yes.
No, don't fall asleep watching no shoot 'em up bang bang movie. Because your mind is still kind of connected to that device and trying to listen, but you're not resting. So I turn myself and I'm like, whatever needs to be said or done, it can wait till I wake up. The body needs at least 8 to 12 hours of sleep a day to maintain your weight and have proper health.
Correct.
But what did we do in the 60s? Oh, that might be before your time, Gabrielle. But in the 60s and the 70s, in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, we didn't have these devices. We didn't have these things. We had a word processor in the 80s. We had if you show a child today a dial phone, they wouldn't know how to call anyone.
Correct.
We did everything manually. And it's time that we get back to the way things were, like Pastor said, like Minister Jones said, start your own garden. I've already started. I started putting some lemon seeds aside for our new home that I'm going to plant in our yard. I put aside a huge avocado seed that's already sprouted. You can take that romaine lettuce, and you can cut off like 5 or 4 inches at the bottom of it and submerge it in soil without letting it sit in water. But make sure it's the top of it. You can see the top of it. We need to learn how to grow our own fruits and vegetables, people. It's important because like Minister Jones said, they're talking about diesel. How are we going to eat? What's the junk is in our meats?
Yeah.
I don't eat beef and pork. Also, your diet is keeping you awake.
Correct. So that's why.
When I stopped eating pork, I was grown. My grandmother was Southern cuisine, so I ate from the rooter to the tutor. Pig feet, pig ears, pig tails, chitlins. I could cook, honey. I cook my behind off. And as soon as I stopped eating pork, and I love bacon. I love it. My husband makes the best steak in the world, the most tender steak firefighters, that's all they did was cook. They know how to cook. They know how to master cooking. And as soon as I stopped eating those meats, I was able to sleep better.
Correct. So taking care of yourself, again, tonight, our objective for this show is to let you know that your stance matters. How you stand in life, how you decide, your position, your posture is up to you. And I think life, again, we said that it doesn't matter if you're older than 18 or maybe even 16, you are going to be facing challenges. And it's up to you to know where you stand in life. And we said when life throw you lemons, what do? Do lemonade. But you have to know how to do the lemonade. And I do believe that the best way to make lemonade is to eat healthy. It's for you to learn how to pray, learn how to meditate, prayer, whatever you call it. And then definitely you need to learn how to love not only yourself, but everybody around you. And the way you show love is by going out there and reaching out to your community, because many times those challenges that you're facing that are weighing you down, that are creating problems and mayhem in your life, and are causing you a lack of sleep. Yes, the financial, but also have been created because you don't know your neighbors. You don't know what's out there and you don't know your rights. So we will encourage you to go out there and do what you need to do. Whatever the lemon is, a divorce, sickness, endless legal fight, defamation of your character, whatever the storm is, I encourage you to eat, pray, and love, and rest. Because guess what? Everything is gonna be all right if you believe, if you stand firm. So thank you so much for your time tonight. And just know that your stance matters. Good night. Please tag, share, and make a comment. Let your friends know that every single week there's an awesome show here that is making a difference. And we want to make a difference in your life and in their lives. God bless you.